Welcome back, GED scholars, to part 3 of the 3-part writing rubric videos. In part 1, we talked about the first trait, which was creation of arguments and use of evidence. We talked about text-based evidence and the importance of making sure that while you are reading your passages, you are paying attention to any type of evidence that side presents to you. So please check out part 1 video. There are a couple of prompts there that you can use to practice writing for this portion of the exam. I also explain in the part 1 video how much time you have, which is 45 minutes, and the best way for you to break up that time. I provide a template for those of you who are struggling with how you should structure your response, because as you can see from trait 2, you will be graded on development of ideas and organizational structure. So I talk about that structure and how you can use transitional words and phrases to help you move from one idea to the next. And if you're like, wait, I have to have an idea to move to from one to the other, yes, please check out part 1 video and part 2, and this would all make more sense. And so we also made sure to not only pay attention to the traits for part 2, but also to the notes that followed on page 4. But as I mentioned, today's video is all about trait 3. And this video is going to be a little different in that I'm not going to spend most of this video reading through all of these bullet points and sub-bullet points. Instead, I'm going to show you 2 resources, the OWL website and Khan Academy, to show you where you can go if you need help with a big part of this trait, which is clarity and command of standard English conventions. Folks, this is where you are being graded for spelling, for sentence structure, proper use of transitional words and phrases. Can someone read your sentence and understand what you are saying? If you need to get your own copy of this rubric, you can find the link in the description box below, or you can go to GED.com. In the search box, type rubric, and you will be presented with the rubric in both English and Spanish. Trait 3 says clarity and command of standard English conventions. The first bullet point reads, demonstrates largely correct sentence structure and a general fluency that enhances clarity with specific regard to the following skills. And then they go into subtopics: varied sentence structure, correct subordination, coordination and parallelism, avoidance of wordiness, usage of transitional words, on and on and on. The second bullet point reads, demonstrates competent application of conventions with specific regard to the following skills: frequently confused words and homonyms, subject-verb agreement, pronoun use, placement of modifiers, capitalization, use of apostrophes, punctuation, on and on. When your paper is graded, when this computer is reviewing your paper, it needs to see correct sentence structure. So sentence structure requires a noun and a verb. And yes, you could say John ran, but that's something that you might expect someone in the lower grades to write. And as adults, as people who are getting prepared to write for a GED exam, they're looking for something that has more detail. They're looking for more than just a simple sentence. I'm going to take you to 2 websites that I think are great tools to help you learn, or maybe use as a refresher for all of these grammar rules that you will be graded on. Now, this is the thing to remember, folks. You are given 45 minutes. Are there going to be words that you misspell and you don't catch that misspelling when you spend the last 5 minutes that you are given editing your work? Of course, you're going to have a word or 2 misspelled, but they're hoping that you catch most of those mistakes as you are writing, or during that 5 minutes that you're giving yourself to edit. And that editing process requires you to know what you want to share and then read through what you've written. Make sure your sentences make sense. Make sure that if you are using a word, you used it correctly. You know what the definition of the word is. You know that this is a proper place to place that word in the sentence. You are making sure to edit run-on sentences that don't seem to end. Or maybe you're comma happy and you feel like you need to drop a comma after every 2 or 3 words, which is incorrect for those of you who are like, am I supposed to drop a comma after every 2 to 3 words? No, for the most part, I can't think of one piece of writing that would require that many commas after 2 to 3 words. So let's go ahead and let's go look at these two websites. The first website I want to take us to is Purdue University's online writing lab. You can get to that website by going to Google, or you could just do owl.purdue.edu up here in your search bar. But if you decide to go to Google instead, go ahead and click in the search bar and type OWL Purdue. This is Purdue University's online writing lab. They have awesome resources on this home page, and you can feel free when you have time to check out other resources that they also share towards the bottom of the screen. Once we're on Purdue University's online writing lab website, you want to click on the online writing lab tab. And when you do, you're brought to a new page. And notice on the left there is a navigation pane with general writing, research and citation, avoiding plagiarism, things like that. I'm going to click on general writing. And once you click on grammar, it'll bring you to a new page. And notice here that they have all of these different topics or subtopics. And so you'll also notice that there are links in the navigation pane on the left-hand side too. After clicking on Introduction to Verb Tenses, you'll be brought to a new page. As you can see, you're going to read about all of this information to help you understand the different verb tenses. And then they'll go into more detail as you scroll throughout the page. You'll also notice that there are exercises. I will open this in a new tab so I can come back. When we come to their exercises page that we just opened up in a new tab, when I scroll down on the left side in my navigation pane, I see all of the different exercises. And when we click on grammar exercises, once again, we have subtopics. So we can go ahead and click on tense consistency. And here's another page that we're brought to, and click on one of the links. And as you see on the screen, they have exercises for you. And what you're going to want to do is read the directions and then complete the exercises as well. Do not cheat and go to the answers first. And once you're done learning about verb tenses, come back to grammar and you can choose something else that you want to learn about or something that you struggle with. And that's why I share all of these practice prompts with you folks, because it's important for you to practice. And not only is it important that you practice writing, it's also important that you have someone who knows the standard English conventions, the rules to grammar, who can spot a misspelled word or a comma placed in the wrong place. If you are just writing prompt after prompt and you are making mistakes and no one is bringing those mistakes to your attention, well, you're just practicing the wrong way of writing. For example, if I wanted to learn how to pitch a baseball correctly, I don't want to practice the incorrect way over and over and over. I need to find someone who knows how to pitch a ball correctly to teach me. You can go and learn from Khan Academy and from OWL website the rules of grammar, but when you're practicing, you still need someone to read and edit your work for you. The second website that I want to make sure I share is a website called Khan Academy, and once again, you can search for it using Google, or you can just type Khan Academy in the search bar up at the top. whatever is easiest for you. But once you get to Khan Academy's site, you'll notice that they have a lot going on for learners. And as you scroll down the page, you'll notice that they have a lot of different topics that they offer information on. And so for reading and language arts, you can click on See All Reading and Language Arts, and you'll notice that it does go from second grade reading and vocabulary all the way to ninth grade reading and vocabulary. If you click on ninth grade reading and vocabulary link and you find it difficult, I want you to come back and click on eighth grade. If for some reason you feel embarrassed by doing this, I ask for you not to be embarrassed. There is nothing wrong with knowing your own reading level and making sure you find proper information to help you study that matches your reading level. And that doesn't mean that you can't continue to work on your reading as well. But as we scroll further down on the reading and language arts page, here we see grammar as well. Noun, verb, pronoun, modifiers, parts of speech, punctuation, sentence structure and clauses, conventions of standard English, usage and style. So let's go ahead and click on Conventions of Standard English. Once we click on the link, which matches what Trait 3 is all about, you'll notice that they have videos and then they also have practice for you on the right-hand side. Khan Academy does a great job of helping you keep track of what you are learning. They also provide a unit test. And the cool thing is when you do the unit tests or any of the practices, they're grading things for you. And so for those of you who might have a hard time finding someone who understands standard English conventions, use Khan Academy to the best of your ability to understand what to do correctly and where you might be going wrong. Also notice under grammar, they have on the left-hand side a navigation. There are 10 units, 100 skills. And so those are two great websites I share with my students to make sure that they have resources outside of class and outside of their study guide book. For those of you who are interested in getting your own study guide, I use Kaplan GED. You can purchase that on Amazon.com. There is a link in the description box below. You can look at Walmart. The one thing I will say, folks, it doesn't matter where you purchase your study guide from. You just want to make sure that the study guide is new and has not been used. So in a nutshell, Trait 3 is about clarity and command of English language conventions, your spelling, punctuation, sentence structure, things that you want to make sure you pay attention to as you are writing, but also when you decide to edit. And as I shared in part 1, out of the 45 minutes you are given, you want to save the last 5 minutes to edit your work. Folks, that is all for the rubric. There are 3 traits, and please make sure you check out the videos, part 1, part 2. I have included a couple of different writing prompts in this video's description box below, so please make sure that you use those prompts to practice writing. I always share with my students 11 writing prompts, and I tell them that the first 3 are untimed because you just want to get into the flow of reading these passages, acknowledging the text-based evidence, and then writing your response. After the first 3, then you want to start timing yourself because you will only be given 45 minutes to complete this writing response. And also remember that it's important that when you're done writing, find someone who can read your response and let you know if it makes sense. I know some of you might struggle finding somebody like that, which I will say turn to your public library. Ask the librarian if there's somebody there who is willing to help out and read or edit your response. I can't say with 100% certainty that all librarians would be more than happy to help, but I do feel like there are many librarians who would be excited to help somebody who is aiming to get their GED. Or maybe there's someone at your church or synagogue that you can go to and ask if they could help you as well. Maybe you are close with your children's teachers and you feel comfortable asking them to read your paper. Either way, folks, it's very important that you practice and that you make sure after you practice writing, you have someone edit or check your work as well. Thanks for watching, GED scholars, and make sure you keep your head up. You've got this.